morning, folks. Good morning, folks. Welcome to Flip's Barbershop Sports Talk on a Friday morning. Got my guy Danny Hips right here.
Yeah.
And D. Hey, it's been a while. We're gonna cover a little bit of everything today. A little bit of cover the Ncaa basketball championship, NFL draft coming up, a little bit of baseball. A little bit of everything today.
And we got it all. Golf, the Masters.
Yeah, the Masters is going on.
Tiger's in the hunt.
Is he in the hunt?
He might make the cut for sure. He's 17 right now.
If his back holds up.
That's for all of us, then. We all at that age.
I agree.
We might not make it through this podcast with my back.
I agree. But Danny, let's talk a little bit about the Final Four and the championship last Monday night.
So a couple things with the Final Four. You can't start off without giving some kudos to the Wolfpack for making it. Man, that's an incredible run. Probably not one that will be seen again in any time soon. To run 5 straight games through the ACC tournament. And every time I think about that, I think about that crazy shot that they made in the first round of the ACC tournament just to keep going.
To beat Louisville, wasn't it?
Yeah, to beat Louisville. But, man, they were a lot of fun to watch, and I think that I don't know what Bruns is going to do with basketball career. I don't know. I don't know if he'll get a chance or not, but he's going to make a lot of money because his personality, like people just gravitate to his personality. Now I'm already seeing him on commercials. I'm seeing he's well-spoken. I think a lot of people enjoyed watching the Wolfpack, and I do think that they got beat by better teams. They just ran out of gas and didn't have all the weapons that those other folks happened. And unfortunately for me, UConn definitely showed who they were all the way around. So kudos to them. But I mean, this is going to touch you a little bit, Dan. I ain't trying to poke. I'm never going to pull for anybody that's a Hurley.
Yeah.
So Hurley for me is out, but I will tell you why. He is obviously a very good coach with a great program. Kudos to them. I don't really like the way he carries himself a little bit. He walked out there on the court, tried to run his mouth a little bit to Edie, Big Yao Ming Edie. I wish he'd have just popped him right there on the court. But I don't know. He just he projects a different way for me as a head coach in college basketball. But hey, I can't deny they were the best team probably start to finish.
Yeah, they was the best team like you said, from start to finish. Danny Hurley is definitely from up north.
Yeah, he's up north, but he's still, I mean, to me, he's still like in kid mode. He's got his hats on backwards. He thinks he's one of the kids, and I don't know. He's a little over animated with the officials for me. He begs and whines a lot. Most of them do. I get it, but hey, again, whatever they're doing something right.
Yeah, he's doing something right. 2 national championships back to back, and predicted the start the number 1 again. So I don't know. Big boy for them. I think he's leaving.
Yeah, he played well too. I mean, but I'll tell you this: kudos to Purdue. They played. I think everybody in the whole world felt like Purdue was going to choke or go down easy early. They had a bad loss last year starting a tournament, but they played solid all the way through. And they had some pretty tough competition, and I will tell you, a dude that has 40 points, 20 rebounds, for me is pretty impressive. I think he just got the Naismith College Player of the Year again.
Back to back.
Yep, back to back. And so we'll see how that goes, but he's impressive.
Yeah,
he's a big boy. He's going to create some problems, but he's still got some things he probably needs to work on, in my opinion.
Yeah, he'll definitely get better. Do you think he'll get a shot in the NBA?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think that there's very many 7-footers out there that don't get a shot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's those are not frequent. But I don't know how well he'll play in the NBA.
Yeah, because the big man's game ain't there no more.
It ain't there. It's not a big man's game except for just getting those rebounds and putting them back in there. You're seeing maybe 8 or 9 rebounds, 12, 14 points, those kind of things, and you got to have those for sure. But He's not going to be the guy on commercials and doing all the other stuff. And
No.
he ain't gonna win no dunk contest. It ain't about that.
No. Hey, as long as he has a great NBA career.
Yeah.
And 10 years.
Yeah, I agree. So let's talk about another big story in college basketball. The Kentucky Wildcats. Their coach said, "Hey, I'm out of here." He packed up his stuff. He went to Arkansas of all places. So he had his press conference this week, and at his press conference, he said he had one player. Like, they have one player that's on the roster. So he's got to go out now and go get players.
Oh, Arkansas right now?
Yeah. So he wants people who want to come there, want to play there, and want to win there. And if anybody can do it, he can do it. But
well, I heard they had some money out there. I heard Tyson Chicken out there.
Yeah.
So
it takes money because he didn't leave Kentucky for no low income.
I seen Kentucky just hired a coach, BYU's coach, Mark Pope.
Yeah, I thought they were a little quick on that for me. I don't know. He might be a great coach. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, they offered it to 4 different coaches.
Yeah. So did he play at Kentucky?
I'm not sure.
For some reason, I think he may have. But all I'm saying is Kentucky is probably top 4 in the country with regard to national programs, winning, all that stuff. And I don't know. That's the part about this NIL stuff that people are going to have to deal with. It's free agency every day.
Yeah.
I mean, you got stars that are going to get the money to go here or there. So it's changing the game tremendously. I don't like it that way. I mean, it's almost like free agency in all the major sports. So for me, it's okay. I will say this, that the biggest winner of NCAA basketball this year, in my opinion, the biggest winner was the women's basketball. Like, I don't know how many grown men in the recent years have made a effort to make sure I want to see this game.
Yeah.
I want to go watch this game. I don't know what the percentages are, who watched, how many people were tuned in to LSU and Iowa, or then also with South Carolina and Iowa. But, man, they elevated the status of college girls basketball, and people watching that for that gender and for that sport is huge.
Yeah, they playing hard.
Well, they had more viewers than the guys' championship game this year.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's because everybody hates UConn and Danny Hurley. That's why. I'm telling you.
I don't know. They want to see that Caitlin. I'll tell you one thing. I'm a big fan of Dawn Staley, South Carolina. I'll tell you, she's so
there's 2 things that Dawn Staley did that, man, I just love. 3 actually. First of all, she's a badass.
Yeah,
I mean, she's a good coach. She lays it, and I believe that if you go to practice with Dawn Staley and you ain't giving your own, she's getting up in you. She is not standing by for somebody loafing. But here's the things that I like that she did. First of all, it was super classy that after they won that championship, she basically gave some really good accolades to Caitlin Clark and said, hey, you carry. And what she's talking about is what we're talking about, elevating the game for people who want to see it. And the second part of that was she got a tricky question from a reporter, and it was basically about transgenders playing basketball. Well, she kept her line, and it was tricky what she had to say, but she was basically saying girls need to be playing with girls and guys need to be playing with guys. And then the third one that I liked was she thanked God.
Yeah.
And she caught a little flack over that, and she's like, I ain't apologizing for that. So she knows who she is, and I will tell you, there aren't many teams in NCAA, men or women, that have run the gauntlet of an undefeated season, 32-0. There's only a couple in men. 38, my bad. I think the men's that went were 32.
And what's special about that, all the girls on that team wasn't on that team last year. She had a brand new team.
She did, and that is the beauty of that NIL stuff. But I don't really like that. But I will tell you that there's good players all over the floor in that final game. I mean, lots of them. But nobody had to answer for big 6'8"
No, Cardosa.
Cardosa.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nobody got the answer for that. And when she's in the middle, it's hard for anybody to penetrate. And when she gets the ball on the block, it's over.
I read a little something on Cardosa. It's funny you mentioned that. But speaking of Dawn Staley, you know, she's my number one. She's a Philly girl, born and raised in Philly, Pat. So she's and then she, you know, she's a point guard. So I read a little something on Cardosa. She's from Brazil. She took a chance on herself and left her family and came here at 14 years old by herself.
Wow.
I just feel like she's fearless, man. I don't know. I would, if I had a daughter that was playing basketball, I would want her to play for a coach like that.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
She don't like pour sugar on them. I mean, she's hardcore. She has her expectations, and it's about respect and hard work, and you can obviously show that again, the best team won.
Before we stop talking about college basketball, a big announcement this week from a local kid, Rob Dillingham, just declared for the NBA draft. So
yeah, I think he was going either way. And so what I'm hearing is projected third pick, maybe
third. I seen second and third, so
yeah,
I don't know who's going first.
And unfortunately,
right.
it won't affect his NBA career at all. But in the game that Kentucky lost, when they did lose, like they didn't play well, and they didn't shoot well. And but if you look at his stats for the year, it just the trajectory kept going up and up and up some more. So I think he's got a bright future. And that, as we talked a while ago about Edey being, you know, he might make the NBA, he might do this. That's really not what the NBA is now.
No,
Dillingham is what the NBA is made of.
Yeah,
I mean that's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's a guard game now. It ain't.
Yeah, it's not a physical game. Also,
no,
it's not a big man's game. It's a running and gunning and shooting and those things.
I read a little thing on the NBA game. You know, now a lot of people saying Michael Jordan would have averaged about 50 points now in this
man, listen, it was so physical back in those days in the 80s and all. I mean, you came out there, you were hurting. You know, we had a debate on a previous podcast about the GOAT, who it was, whether it was Bron or whether it was Jordan. And for me, the difference is that physicality thing. And, you know, if Bron gets breathed on hard, he flops. I can't do it, man. I can't. It's hard for me to even watch it. But I'll probably watch the playoffs here and there. But there's some really good teams out there. I don't know who the best team is right now, but if I had to hypothetically place a bet, it might be the Celtics for me.
Yeah, they are the number one team in the East. So.
Yeah, they got a lot of weapons.
Yep. But we're going to take a small break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about NFL draft coming up. All right, catch us on the flip side. End of this month, man.
Yeah, it's coming up. Yeah.
Welcome back. Flips Barbershop Sports Talk. Dennis Lee here with my guy Danny Hips. Danny, well, we got the NFL draft coming up. You know, a lot of big news with free agency and players, you know, releasing players. Well, you know, Chicago Bears released Justin Fields.
Ooh.
Man, I
don't know that they got I don't think they necessarily got the best deal, but I will tell you that I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers got a heck of a deal.
Yeah, I do too. And then to learn from you know, maybe
Russell.
sit a year and learn from Russell, or, you know, even get in. You know, they're going to be fighting for that number one spot, but even learning from Russell Wilson for 1 year, I think Pittsburgh Steelers got a steal right there. I don't know. The Bears are going back to another rookie quarterback. So
well, they really got two steals because Russell's just getting $1 million.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's got all that other guaranteed money. So really, for what they got, I would say that I would be hesitant to think that Justin Fields is done. I don't think he is.
No, he's not done.
I think he didn't have a whole lot of assets surrounding him, especially at the offensive line. But I don't think people understand how big and athletic he is.
Yeah.
But he is, and I think that it was a great move for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But in some way, I understand where the Bears are. It would be to have two quarterbacks in the clubhouse locker room debating who should be that. It can create tension and it can create some division. So maybe to give Caleb that free reign to take off, and it's win, lose, or draw for him. But he better show up, or it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, it's gonna be real bad. But also just a lot of quarterbacks being talked about in the NFL draft.
Maybe the most quarterbacks in recent years that'll be going in the first round and in the first 10 picks.
I've heard like 6 quarterbacks might be going in the first round. So I mean,
one of them's a Tar Heel.
Yeah, he is Drake May. There's different. I've seen different teams. I don't know. The Redskins are looking at the Daniels kid from LSU.
Yeah, so Jalen Daniels, I think, will go to the Redskins. I think that Tar Heel, Drake May will go to the Patriots. And before we talk about that, let me just say that our local guy, Lenore Ryan Bear, strong safety for the...
He got paid, didn't he?
Yep, he got paid.
Kyle Duggar.
Yep, Kyle Duggar, man. Kudos to him. And also, just so you know how we try to tie all things local, Kyle Duggar has a sports agent who is from right here, good friend of mine. Spencer, Wes Spencer is his agent. So kudos to Wes and their agency, and especially to Kyle Duggar.
Wow, that's awesome. I think he got $35 million guaranteed, wasn't it?
He did pretty good, man.
Yeah,
I think I'd take it. So yeah, let's talk about these quarterbacks. So you got Caleb Williams going at the 1 pick. 2 would be Jalen Daniels, Drake May for the Patriots at 3rd pick. And then right after that, what I'm hearing is that the Vikings are going to trade up, and they're going to pick up J.J. McCarthy at the 5th
Michigan.
pick. Yep, at the 5th pick, and they're going to trade theirs to L.A. So then after that, you really got a couple offensive tackles, which you're going to have. And the next quarterback down there would be one that going to the Raiders, and that would be Michael Penix Jr. from Washington State.
Washington. So that's a total of what, 5 quarterbacks?
So that's 5. So that's 5 right there. And let me just scroll through here and see if there's another one in here anywhere on the radar. I don't know. I don't remember one, but let's just make sure. No.
What about Bo Nix? Bo Nix is not on there?
He's not in the first round.
He's not? Okay.
Not in the first round at all.
I'll give him he'll probably go 2nd round.
Yeah, I would agree.
But
you never know. Crazy stuff happens on draft day.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I think I'm a big fan of Harrison Jr. Wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. Wide receiver from Ohio State.
I feel like, if people weren't desperate for quarterbacks, he'd definitely be the number 1 pick.
Yeah. Most definitely.
So like for me, I thought if they didn't trade Justin Fields and he stayed in that spot, then the Bears would have had a chance to get Harrison Jr., which gives him some weapons. I thought that for a little while it might go that way, but it didn't.
Yeah. But let's talk a little bit about free agency. I know it's been a while since we've talked. Free agency is crazy.
So free agency is crazy. And, on our previous podcast, we actually predicted some of those were going to happen.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah. So we in here, I told them that Russell was going to Pittsburgh.
Uh-huh.
And it was long before he did. And that Cousins was going to end up in Atlanta.
Yep.
Wow.
Now, let's talk about Cousins in Atlanta. Is he worth that much money?
They think he is. I don't know how many years he got left, but I don't know. The offensive line in Atlanta ain't too bad.
Well, they got some parts and pieces, They got pretty good tight end.
He's got weapons. He's got weapons.
He's got a great running back that can catch passes out. He's got some receivers. Defensively, they're okay, but they ain't winning that NFC South.
You don't think?
No, man. The Bucks on the South.
Man, I don't know. On paper, they're better than the Bucks. On paper.
Nah, man. The Bucks did pretty good in off season. They secured some things. They didn't get anything flashy. They really, if you read like who's done the most work and the best work in off season, they have, but they have had to work hard to do it. But they secured and signed some folks and picked up a couple people here and there. It's going to help them.
Well, while we're at it, free agency, who done the least? You think
Dallas
Flip
probably.
Dallas didn't add nobody. I did see where I did see.
Not nobody, and they ain't worth a damn. That's a good quote right there. I like it, but I don't know what. I wonder if they got like some crazy plan on draft day that they're going to do this or that, because I'll be honest with you, I am not a Cowboys fan, but from looking afar, I think their die were cast the second that they paid Dak, Ezekiel Elliott,
CD.
So I think CD was legit. I mean, you got to pay him, but they paid Dak too much, and they paid Elliott too much. Now they've moved on with that, but they're still paying it.
Yeah.
So I don't know financially where they can go or what they're going to do, but if I'm honest, they weren't a bad football team.
No.
I mean, and if you look at Dak's numbers, he performed pretty well last year.
Yeah.
The key is how do you get them to perform well in the playoffs?
Yeah.
And to me, I think here's the reason why. When you play good teams that have been there all the time and time after like, for example, local football, maiden football, people expect them to win.
Yeah.
And those kids that play on that team expect that they're going to win. And they do that because they have won. They've been there. They've been here. They've been there. When you're never been there, and they really haven't, I mean, they've been a while since they got deep in the playoffs, it builds pressure on you. Like, man, everybody wants us to, we got to do this rather than just playing the game. And I think they need some experienced people who's been through that, been through playoffs, some leadership on that end. Because really, athletically and on the football field, they showed some good points.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, they have a good team.
But man, it's like when it collapses, it falls in.
Yeah. I tell you what, not just to talk about my Eagles, but we've added some weapons.
Man, you had
I think we added the number one weapon.
So that probably was the biggest implosion surprise of the year. I mean, all of a sudden, like, whenever they came out that first week and early on, like, you couldn't stop them, man.
Yeah.
They were sticking the ball down people's throat. But I will tell you that the locker room, the coaching, whatever, it imploded. So another shout out to a local person, Landon Dickerson from South Caldwell High School.
Yeah, he got
local.
paid.
Yep, he got paid. He's the highest paid offensive lineman in the NFL.
Yeah.
So they're tying it up. But now listen, talk about some of the things that they did in the offseason. They shored up the running game, right?
Saquon,
Yep, Saquon. So, Giants had a tough decision there. But I think the Giants made the right decision. In the last 3 or 4 years, Saquon has not gone a season without missing 3 to 4 games. So, at the beginning of last year, we had a big debate in here about should the Giants pay him that big contract. And they didn't. And obviously the reason they didn't was I don't think they saw that future. So I think for Saquon, it's a good move. I think for the Eagles, it's a good move. He just got to stay healthy.
Yeah. I think, he's playing under one of the best offensive lines in the.
Got some good blockers.
So we'll see how he performs and stays healthy. Another team that I thought, got a whole lot better was we just talked about them, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, they added linebacker from Baltimore, Queen, Russell, Justin. And he got weapons. They got weapons everywhere. So.
Yeah, I think they got weapons, but I think they're shooting cap guns instead of AR-15s.
You think?
I just don't see. I think they still got some work to do. I think they're gonna have more weapons than they have had, but I don't think when I look at what hurdles they got to jump, I don't think they're going to be on the same level as Baltimore. I don't think that they might not be on the same level as Cleveland. I think Cleveland had a decent year. And I think that they're going to continue to improve here or there. So I still see in that group, in that conference, that they might be middle of the road.
And let's talk about, I was about to say
that's what we was getting ready to say.
Last week, they just added one of the biggest weapons in the NFL, and they was already good. They're young and good.
Man, I don't think that I don't know who the GM is who lined up their draft strategy last year, but by far it was head and shoulders the best draft strategy. And whenever you're playing that, I call it the quarterback parlay because everybody's trying to figure out what quarterback to get here. And I'm not dogging on Bryce Young, but Houston got the right quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good fit. And there's a couple other folks. I mean, I think Indianapolis got a good quarterback.
Yeah.
I think that they got a few people out there that it worked out well, and I think Houston's going to come out blazing.
I think Houston got the right coach, D'Amico Ryans, for them young guys.
So they react well to him. He's pretty hardcore, and you can tell he puts the effort and the work in there.
Yep. Yeah.
But we don't want to. Here's going to tell the whole story of everything right here. We've talked about the draft. We've talked about what people were able to do last year. We talked about coaches. We talked about things that have happened in the off season to do this or that. Guess what we hadn't talked about?
What is that?
The Carolina Panthers. They're the worst team in football. They're the worst program top to bottom, and you still hadn't heard anything about them. What effort are they making to try to bring some talent in there?
I think that's all professional sports in Charlotte right now. I don't think they're.
The soccer team's the best thing they got, though. I mean, at least they bring in a crowd.
Yeah,
they're
they
still
bring in
in
a crowd. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I will just say that I don't know what they're going to do, but you can't do nothing.
No.
They got to have a huge potential down here being in North Carolina. I mean, come on, man.
Man, I'm telling you, they've demonstrated more than people would ever imagine. If they're playing decent, not great. If they're playing decent, people are going to show up.
Right.
They're going to pull for them.
Yep.
If they start winning, they really pulling. And if they are like top level, people go nuts. That's all they got. That's all we got to pull for.
For real.
They're starving for some success, and I don't see any efforts being made
to get
for the
better.
Panthers.
I agree.
Yeah,
but I am glad if it's going to be that way if they're in the NFC South. I am glad for that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But Danny, let's take a little small break. When we get back, we'll wrap it up. All right.
Sounds
Catch
good.
us on the flip side. Welcome back to Flip's Barbershop Sports Talk. Danny, we got a couple announcements. I got one for this weekend. Actually, this Saturday morning, Athletes Lab, we got our soccer club tryouts.
I saw that, man.
Yeah, Saturday at 9 a.m. and then Sunday at 1 p.m. So they'll be getting ready for the summer.
Man, the lab is jumping. I'm seeing cars everywhere. And plus that soccer program, man, it's coming off a hot last year. I mean, right?
Our girls, we had a lot of success last year, and so we'll see, how our girls react this year. But hopefully, we got a lot of girls coming back and some new ones coming to try out. So, but yeah, that's this weekend. This starts Saturday at 9:00 and then Sunday at 1 p.m. Danny, you got something over there you want to announce?
Yeah, I do. So H&H Promotions, they're going to be presenting on May 4th. That's a Saturday, May 4th comedy in the 828. They'll be featuring comedians Tia Kanika, Al Henry, who is a classmate of mine from Maiden High School, and the headliner, Zach Johnson. Doors open at 8 p.m. and the admission's $20. $20 is $20. So if you're interested, you can see here the flyer. It's got the contact info, and I will tell you, it's always a good time if you drop in here at Flip's Barbershop. You can get a great haircut by any one of the folks, barbers that we have, but in addition to that, the atmosphere and the culture is fantastic, and you'll learn some things about sports, I can tell you that. And if not, they'll tell you what you need to learn. So we appreciate everybody tuning in and really appreciate Flip's Barbershop for all they do and our sponsors. We are thankful to have those. We hope that you show us some love on our podcast, and just really, if you got questions, comments, we're always curious to hear those as well. Take it away, DJ. I know you got something you can tell us.
Yeah. Just one more time. Just thanking our sponsors, LKH. I'll put them up here for us, heating and cooling. You know?
Your comfort is our main priority.
Yeah, so, and also we're going to have Dick's Cafe.
Man, that's the best grits in town. But let me tell you about that air conditioning stuff. I don't know if anybody's seen what the temperature is going to be next week.
Yeah.
So, they done playing around with
Oh,
spring.
yeah.
It's about to get hot.
Almost 90,
yeah.
ain't it? Almost 90.
90. And I don't know how you feel, but I can't do 90 at my age no more. I need that AC to be chiming.
I know that's right. Before we go off air, Danny, listen, I'm not you the big golf guy, but hey, the Masters is going
my
on.
favorite. So I want to tell you, it's my favorite event anywhere. Any sports event that I've ever been to, and I've been to Kentucky Derby's, World Series, Super Bowl. I've been to all of them. There ain't nothing better than the Masters. And I know even if you don't like golf, it is like every blade of grass then is like somebody brushed it down with their hand.
Yeah.
But right now, the Masters is in day 2, round 2. It's going to be a windy day down there. It's going to be a tough day for golf. But what a lot of folks are tuned in to watch, and what brings a lot of attention to golf, is that Tiger Woods is playing in the Masters this year. So, we all know he's had some back problems and issues. He's trying to break a record and a streak of consecutive years that he made the cut. So right now, going into today, he was in 17th place. If he plays that good again today, he'll make that cut and break that record that's at the Masters. But I like the Masters for a lot of reasons. A, it's a beautiful place. B, there's a lot of great golfers there. And the thing I like is they don't price gouge you. So if you go to a football game, how much is a sandwich, Dan? What do you think? Sandwich and a drink, what's it going to cost you?
Oh, it's about $20.
Yeah.
So down at the Masters, they have these large tents. They roll up the sides. They got 4 rows. As you go through those tents, those sandwiches used to be $1. Now they're $1.50.
Wow.
You can get a ham sandwich, a bologna sandwich, egg salad. You can get a Coke for $2. And I think that beer is like $4. So they don't gouge you price-wise. But now let me just tell you this in clear transparency. You can eat all them egg salad sandwiches. You won't spend no money. But if you go in that clubhouse, you try to buy one of them Masters shirts, you might as well grab a $100 bill because they selling them like hotcakes. People are just taking them all over the world.
Wow.
People. It's the most beautiful sporting venue ever, for sure. Good luck to all those folks. And, again, we hope everybody's having a good weekend this weekend. Appreciate you tuning in.
All right. Catch us on the flip side.
All right. And it's a wrap, guys. That's what's up.